What I want to know today is, why did it have to come to this? Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me. I bet y'all just like me wondering, why did it have to come to this? With this shakedown that Michael Oher is supposed to be doing with the Tuolys, when it started a couple years back, why didn't they just tear up the conservatorship then? Make it null and void, officially meet and get the lawyers together and say it's done, it's finished. At least that part of this misunderstanding would be taken care of. And if the Tuolys have such a high level of wealth, over 200 million, they supposedly sold their Taco Bell chains for 200 million. Why not give him all the proceeds from the film? All of them. It's peanuts for you. Where is this misunderstanding really coming from? I mean, there's got to be a few ways to remedy this situation. They may even be able to turn out to be close family friends again. I mean, the kids say that they're not none of my kids anymore, but they all said that they still consider each other brother and sisters. Families have feuds, especially when money gets involved. It gets kind of funky. It seems like Michael Oher, he has emotional turmoil over this. It seems, really, for a story that was so heartwarming. This is really, it's a tragedy for all of them. I think for all of them. You know, unless you're up to no good. People think Michael Oher's up to no good. He is wanting to be fairly compensated for something, so people are suspicious of that. But why a conservatorship? Why in the world is it still in place in February and this man still has to ask for it to be done away with, for it to be, how do you get rid of that? They have to agree? Is that the only way you can let go of it? Or the court makes pressure? Wow. All right, beautiful people, we are gathered here because Michael Oher has two major problems with the way things stand right now. One, this conservatorship that he claims that the Tuolys misled him into signing, presenting it as the way he could legally be adopted into this family since he was over the age of 18. I guess it was appealing for him to make their family relationship official. The second problem that Michael Oher has is that he felt that he was depicted as dumb, slow, and clueless, especially with football and anything that had to do with academics in the film The Blind Side. Even though he played football before he ever went to Bryan-Crest Christian School or Christian Academy. Michael Oher is actually an all-around athlete, having lettered twice in high school in both track and basketball. Basketball, which just so happens to be his favorite sport. So yeah, people, the big guy was always an all-around athlete before he ever enrolled in Bryan-Crest. But the biggest reason why Michael Oher is trending right now is because he just found out that he signed over all this power to the Tuolys. He just found out in February of this year about what it really means to be under a conservatorship. And people, as of today, it's still in place. We're in August of 2023, and Michael Oher has his second memoir out. And he didn't bring it up in his first memoir, but right now he wants this conservatorship done with. I guess they got to get rid of some documents. Maybe they all have to show up in court together. Apparently, when Michael Oher wrote his first memoir, I Beat the Odds, back in 2011, it seems like things were still lovey-dovey between him and the Tuolys, his adoptive parents. The kids don't seem to be really that deep into this whole squabble legal battle, but that book is full of fond memories of being part of this community in the whole Bryan-Crest Christian community. But now that Michael knows what he signed away at the tender age of 18, he's left with a sour taste in his mouth. Because the conservatorship is still in place, giving the Tuolys the right to make all decisions about his life, namely control of his financial dealings, his money, not to mention where he can live, the contracts he can agree to, simply everything. Everything. And conservatorships usually only happen when someone is not in their right mind. They have questionable behavior, they could possibly harm themselves, health issues, and wealth issues. Because no one's trying to claim legal responsibility for an adult unless they have some assets to help them do that. Or future assets. You know, just like Wendy Williams, she's a perfect example of a conservatorship that was in the headlines. And of course, Britney Spears, who has had a conservatorship for years. Yeah, people, nobody is trying to claim liability for an adult unless there is some wealth to be had. There's some money around. Okay. Not saying that it's a sinister thing every time, but we don't have good examples right now, do we? So folks, this is Michael Oher's second book, and he wants us all to know the real about his journey. He's keeping it 100 about all the people that have helped him along the way. He actually did that in his first book. He talks about during his first 2 years at the Christian Academy, that even after he met the Tuolys, that he was still in the foster care system. He was still in and out of foster care homes for about 20 months, even after he met Sean Tuoly, the husband of Leanne Tuoly, because it was actually Sean Tuoly, the husband, who met and started to connect with Michael Oher. Because Sean Tuoly was a volunteer basketball coach that slowly made this connection, because he didn't have to be there. He was a volunteer. And of course, the man is doing very well. He is wealthy. It started off with a few chats during baseball season, and the mother doesn't seem to have been involved in that at all. The first time Michael Oher mentions her is during the holiday season of his junior year. He had just spoken with Mr. Tuoly a handful of times. So it wasn't at all the way the movie portrayed it, because again, Michael Oher was very into basketball. Michael Oher was very into basketball. Basketball was his first love, and he did very well. He's just gifted with a powerful physique and great abilities. In Oher's 2011 memoir, I Beat the Odds, he explains just how many people helped him and fed him along the way. This man has had to have many meals, and he praises them all. There were many people that fed him, let him stay extended periods, as well as couch surf. I'll leave a link for both books in the description, When Your Back's Against the Wall and I Beat the Odds, the first book he did in 2011. But since 2009, when the film came out, Michael Oher has been vocal about his mixed criticism of the film, the blind side's misleading representation of him and his journey. We all probably knew that the little 8-year-old SJ wasn't actually teaching or football strategy with ketchup bottles and stuff. He said that, but that was already something for me. Like, this little kid, there's whiz kids, but it's like, really, this this brother, he knows something about football. I know something about football. I can get down with some football right now. And even though he lived with the Tuolys for less than a year, he still believed that he really became a legal member of their family. That's what he's saying. Michael Oher's recent claims that the Tuolys were seeking enrichment for themselves versus being moved by their Christian convictions is actually a claim that was laid out in the film. Now, that film came out back in 2009. It was written about in the book that was the source material for the film that came out, in 2005, 2006. So, and it was included in the book. So the suspicion that the Tuolys were after financial enrichment was a whole real life investigative process. And they were trying to determine if the young 18-year-old Michael Oher was simply easy prey for the Tuolys as investors. Okay. Because they have big money. And when you have big money like that, you can make big moves. You can buy up people, places, and things. And they're known for being very generous with donations, particularly to Ole Miss, the University of Mississippi. So this is not a new charge that just came up in 2023. This goes back to 2005. What is new is that Michael Oher didn't seem to know that not only was he never adopted, but that the conservatorship gave the Tuolys so much power and control over his life. Now, the Tuolys' lawyers claim that they still have wealth beyond most folks' dreams. They don't need the money, but it seems like it'd be easy to just rip that paper up and let go of all claims. And actually, why not give him all the proceeds from the film? If y'all have these hundreds of millions of wealth, and you still maintain businesses, that's nothing for you. I mean, if I was worth a whopping 200 million, that would not be no sweat for me. But I guess some people, they have money and you always want more money. You always want to look at Elon Musk. I mean, got some very ambitious people out here. And hey, It seems like that's what's being alleged, that they're the type of wealth that likes to buy people, places, and things. Michael Oher is, he's the one thing we know for sure is the man is upset about something. I will keep up with the story. I hope to see y'all real soon. So until the next time, y'all keep living your life like it's golden. Peace.